ain't got it. Broke, five broke. We ain't got it. We broke.
Hi guys, it's your boy Phil Chard, aka Flint Flossy, aka Feeds Up P, Sexington Lovo, Shamri Dingero Drink, and of course DJ Mkardi. And I'm here in South Africa at the 5th Season Studios with a very beautiful and talented young lady. She's making big waves out here, winning awards, collaborating with a lot of big artists. Berita, how are you doing, man?
Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm good, thank you.
So
thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure. It really is. I was doing a little reading on you.
Yes.
Turns out you're also Zimbabwean.
I am.
Really?
Born and bred.
We are everywhere. So when did you move from Zim to SA?
Well, you know what? The journey isn't actually Zim to SA.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Bulawayo. I'll take it from the start. I was born in Bulawayo and I grew up there, mostly raised by my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
When I was young, my parents were teachers in Jombe.
Mm.
You know, when you're going to Kokwe.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Not really, but I'll just...
Okay, so that's where my parents were teachers. So I spent a lot of time between Jombe and Kokwe.
Mm-hmm.
Jombe and Bulawayo.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was a teenager, my father got an opportunity to go and work in New Zealand as a dairy farmer.
Oh.
So he took on that opportunity and took his whole family with. So at 16, I moved to New Zealand and I finished my high school there, spent a year there after that, and I basically felt like I needed to come back home and I needed to let my identity as an African woman filter through what my purpose for my life is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? So your dad was a farmer in Zim and then...
He was a teacher in Zim, keen on farming. But then always, you know how teachers in Zim are, they've got like their place where they farm. When it's school holidays, we used to wake up at 4 on school holidays to go to the farm and stuff like that. So when he finally got an opportunity to be a full-time farmer in New Zealand, he took on that opportunity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And music, was it always a part of your life?
I think no. Growing up, I always loved school. I was about school. I tried being a part of the church choir, but I loved music. I loved listening to the radio, but I never thought that I would be a musician. I only started really thinking about it when I moved to New Zealand. A lot was happening in the family, the change of environment, and suddenly being an African girl in another country, I realized a lot about myself and about my family, and I had so much emotions, and that's when I picked up the guitar. And that's when I also started playing a little bit of piano, but I built a lot of emotion without writing, that by the time I had to write, I was just picking from all the emotions that I had.
All right. So in New Zealand, where were you staying?
I was staying in a little town called Otautau, which is down south in the middle of nowhere in Invercargill.
And how many blacks were down there?
Me and my sister were literally like the first 2 African girls to go to that school.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at your hair. Oh, let me touch your hair.
So it was a life-changing experience, and I always talk about it because I don't think I would have been a musician had it not been for the travel. Because by the time I left New Zealand and got an opportunity to study here in South Africa, I left with my guitar. I could only play 2 chords, but I knew that wherever I'm going to go next, I'm going to show my identity and I'm going to make a mark.
All right. So your family is just you and your sister?
My family is still in New Zealand and I'm here in South Africa alone.
So why did you left everyone back in New Zealand just to come back home?
Yeah.
And how did they take that?
Well, I think first of all, my parents, as long as it had school in it, they were happy. But also they understood. There's something about Africa. There's something about, especially Southern Africa. There's something special about it. And I know that this video is going to reach a lot of diaspora people in Canada, the UK, and all other parts, Australia. And they all miss home. They will all tell you that there's something about home.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you come back to South Africa. Where are you going? What are you studying?
I went to East London in the Eastern Cape to study financial information systems, which was a diploma that had accounting and IT in it. See, what happened initially when I came down, everything was such a rash decision that I ended up just telling myself that no matter what happens, I'm definitely gonna make it. And the first time I came to East London, I remember on the taxi from the airport asking the driver, where do people sing here? Where do they play music? Tell me about the music scene in East London. And I remember the first time that I came to Johannesburg, it was so big. I thought to myself, I have to make it before I even get to Joburg.
And what is the language barrier? Like, obviously you're from Bulawayo, so you speak.
Yeah.
Ndebele.
Yeah, ngiyakhuluma. I didn't face a particular barrier per se. I think because I was coming from the diaspora, I was really hungry to tap into my culture, and I was very lucky to go to a part of South Africa, which I think a lot of South Africa is like that. People pride themselves in who they are, and when I got to the Eastern Cape, I found the Xhosa people that are very, very happy about being Xhosa, very happy about their traditions, and have integrated what the world is today, with still incorporating a lot of who the Xhosa people are. And because I was studying with students from the Transkei, it was very easy for me to pick up Xhosa.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So now that you're in East London, how do you start pursuing music?
I remember the first day, what I did was, friends, when I moved into hostel, were like, we saw a girl with a guitar. Can she play? You know, they were asking each other, and they came up to me. And at the time, I could only play 3 chords, and then I hadn't even composed a full song. And I remember I used to strum, then sing, then strum. Like, it was such a disorganized process. But I played that chorus that I heard, and I strummed, and they loved it. And I think at one point I had people gossiping, saying, no, you know, that girl can really sing. And from there, I never looked back. I wrote more. I was inspired. There were a lot of community events. There were church events, hospitals, schools, drama events around the area. By the end of the year, I was constantly, every weekend, I had somewhere to perform. I had restaurants to perform at. And before I knew it, I was in studio recording.
Oh. And how are you learning more chords? Because obviously you can't be playing 3 chords.
Exactly.
So how are you improving your guitar playing skills?
Slowly. All I've been doing is from where, because I look back to where I started, literally. And, the music was just based on what I knew. So what I had to just keep on doing was keep on learning. If I see someone that plays a guitar, I ask them. I always ask even my band members, can you show me this little thing? And then they're always keen to show me. And that's just how I ended up writing more and learning more chords, and to getting to a point where I'm in love with my guitar now. So I keep learning and I keep getting better.
So what songs are you performing while you're perfecting your craft?
I perform Uthando Lwethu. Uthando Lwethu is a favorite. It became a big song in 2012. It's from my first album called Conquering Spirit. The album went gold and won a Metro FM award for Best African Pop Album.
Look at us showing off.
So Uthando Lwethu is a favorite wherever I go. There's a song called Phakama Africa. That is an amazing song. It's also in the first album. It's basically saying too many times we've been victimized and utilized, and it's time for us as Africans to stand up and show the world what we're about.
Preach on, sister, preach on.
And just recently I came from the Netherlands, and that song had people anchoring me, had people wanting me to come back on stage.
Really?
So that's an exciting song.
So was that, like, let's say Netherlands, was that because they could identify with the lyrics, or because they could just feel the energy in the song?
I think it's the energy in the song and it's the lyrics. I think that this is the best time for Africa. We finally have a chance anywhere in the world as an African woman or man or girl or boy, or even like I look at my parents that moved overseas in their 40s. I feel like Africa now has a chance in the world, and that song, people really relate to it.
Really? So there's like a big African contingent in the Netherlands?
Yes, the part that we're in, there was.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the first song you ever wrote?
It's a song called Ndicela Umamele. It's a love song.
Oh, what is his name?
It's a love song. I remember I used to perform that song a lot in the Eastern Cape, and people thought that song was going to be the Thando Lwethu of the album. But I think when it was recorded, Thandolwethu just took over. Yeah.
All right. So you've done your first album.
Yes.
Okay, you finished it, then you performed it. How do you start? Do you go to record labels and try shopping yourself? Does someone come and approach you and say we want to work with you?
Well, for me, things happened very quickly. Even when I talk to my friends in the industry, they say, I've been singing for 10 years. How do you sing for 1 year and get a record deal and record an album? But I think that, the industry is so diverse. There's so many ways of doing things. But the way that God planned my start was basically that I remember I came to Joburg to visit family. And my uncle was like, I have a family friend that works at a radio station. I'm going to have him come listen to you so that he can tell you what you need to work on. He came through, he listened to me. He works at Alex FM. And he said, okay, I'll schedule an interview for you for Friday. And on that Friday, and this was like August holidays, school holidays, and I was a first year student. I went on radio that day, played Ndicela Umamele, the song I'm telling you about, and people were calling in saying, when is the album coming out? People were just excited on air. And from that, I was instantly offered a record deal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky you. So after you get your record deal, how are you adjusting to the music industry?
Yes. There's been a lot going on. I've been in the industry 3 years now. So first year, I was a first year student in 2011. Recorded my album in December. It came out 2012 when I was a second year student. I went back to school like nothing happened. I didn't know anything about the industry at the time. And I remember the first time I got a couple of copies of my album, I got home literally in my house and I hid them because I didn't want anyone to know that I had recorded anything. But like I'm saying that it was a God-planned start because before I knew it, my song was on radio, Thandolwethu, and it was doing so well. And from there, I had to adjust. I had to start getting a manager, finding out about the industry, promoting myself, learning how to use social media, all the stuff that comes into music I had to learn in that time. And then it's been an amazing journey. Even to this day, I'm still learning and still growing, and to now where I'm working with a bigger team at fifth season. It's everything is just one step to the next, and it's going well.
All right. So your first album drops. You're obviously gaining popularity. You're winning awards now.
Yes.
How do you start working on your second album?
A lot of things happened. Like I think that with every gift that you have, there's also a responsibility that comes with it. And I think going into my second album is called Songs of Empowerment. I got to see the industry. I got to learn about myself, and I realized how quickly things had happened for me. So with my second album, I looked into myself, and the first song that I wrote for the album is a song called Sugundi Xesha. It's a Xhosa song. It's a deep Xhosa song. Actually, the chorus goes something like Sugundi Xesha ndawuxhensa ngexesha lam, ixesha libekwe nguThixo, lixesha lam elo. But what that means is that don't rush me. Let me take my time. Let me dance in the time that God has set for me to dance. And that was basically going into my second album with that understanding that, this is only just the beginning of my journey. I have so much more to learn, and all I have to do is allow. I have to allow God, and I have to allow myself. I have to be patient. And what became special about the album is that as I got an opportunity to work with Bra Yu Masegela, South African, amazing, renowned legend, and also Baba Oliver Mtukudzi, Zimbabwean, amazing, renowned legend as well. And working with those two amazing fathers that are big in the African music scene, I learned a lot. Both of them have at least 20 albums each. And the one thing that I learned was to be honest in my music, and was to release music that would empower and send a message to people. And that basically paved way for how I wrote my second album.
Okay. I think you've buried the lead here. So how do you a young girl from Bulawayo via New Zealand through East London who dropped an album. How do you link up with Yuma Skill and all of them? Do they just call you on WhatsApp like, hey girl, we like your music, come to the studio?
No, it was actually a very organic process. I did a collaboration. The collaboration is not out with the Zimbabwean artist Alexis Kawar
Oh.
through an industry friend, and he liked that collaboration a lot and was like, I'll introduce you to Babatuku. So when Babatuku was in Johannesburg, I was introduced to him.
Okay.
And when I was introduced to him, his manager was like, actually, I was showing Babatuku your music video for Tandoloetu just yesterday. And I was saying, I like this girl. We should do something with her. So already there had been preparations that had been done. By the time we met and had dinner, it was like I was talking to my father. We just gelled. We had amazing conversations. And from there, he invited me to Harare. And in Harare, we got there. He's a busy man. He travels all around the world.
That is true.
But he made time. We got into studio. There's a song that I had done in my first album called Mwana wa Mai. The song is in English and the chorus is in Shona. Penga utoke mwana wa mai, vanongotarisa. Which means that no matter wherever you go, basically to benga is to go crazy. And in society there's this thing that when women grow up or men grow up and they lose their way, society just looks at them. There's no one to guide and say, hey, come back home. Especially if, say, it's an orphan child or it's someone that has no one. No one's there to tell them, yabona manje, yapaiza. No one is basically bringing them into line. So that's what the song was about. Baba Mtukudzi listened to it. He loved it so much and was like, look, I think this is a powerful song. How about we redo it? You sing your verses in Ndebele and we'll sing the chorus together in Shona. So we did that. I came back to South Africa and he was going to have a tribute concert. He invited me back for the tribute concert. Now, a week before I had to go to his tribute concert in Harare, I did a festival in the Eastern Cape. And on that day, it was just my lucky day. I happened to go on stage just after Yuma Sekela. And Yuma Sekela then got a chance to watch me perform, which happens rarely because the bigs, Bana Babatuku and Prayuma Sekela, when they perform, they need to leave. They need to go rest because they travel the world. So when I came off stage, he basically came up to me and was like, I like your sound. I like what you're doing. You're going to go far. And from there, we just started having a casual artist-to-artist conversation. The next thing he was telling me that he's going to Harare. He's been invited by his friend, Oliver Mtukudzi. And I said, that's my father. He's invited me too. So the week later, we met in Harare. It was a jolly good party. Babatuku's tribute. I had you listen to the song. He loved it and was like, as soon as I get back to South Africa, let's get in studio. Let me put my trumpet on it.
Oh, all right. Dope. So apparently that song has a video coming out soon?
Yes. Yes, I'm very excited about the video. I can't wait for people to see it.
Is it what can we expect? Is there going to be a lot of big cars, champagne popping?
No.
No? Oh.
No. We can expect what you can expect is a story. It's a story about a young girl that's made mistakes and she's going back to her roots.
Okay.
Yes. So it's an earthy, humble video.
All right. And there's a remix as well?
Yes, there's a very exciting remix. My friends Black Motion, they're doing big things in the industry. Yes, that's them. Yes, I did a remix. I did a song actually with them for their album.
Oh, okay.
So, and then when they had Mwana wa Mai, the one with Baba Oliver Mtukudzi and Yuma Sekela, they were like, we have to remix this one for you. And, they are the best. I had to have them remix it.
Oh, okay. So it looks like the things are looking up. So far off your second album, how many singles have you dropped?
I've dropped 2 singles. Sugunde Klesha was the first one, and Mwana wa Mai is the second one.
Okay.
But I'm writing again.
Okay.
I'm writing and I'm excited. I'm growing a lot as a guitarist, as a songwriter, as a singer, and also looking into getting into production as well. So I really want to cook, and I want to take my time to do it.
What's your writing process like? Do you sit down and write out the melody and then do the chords, or does everything just come together?
It depends how the song comes about. Sometimes I have ideas in my head that turn into songs. Sometimes I have a nice melody on my guitar and then I fuse it with my idea. Sometimes I've got a vocal idea that I've been thinking about, and just I have an archive in my head and in my heart of of things that I'm thinking about. And then what I usually just do is when I sit down with my guitar, it all just comes together.
Okay. All right. Well, we've had a very enlightening conversation. You have
Thank
a
you
very,
so much.
what can I say, very interesting and unusual story. But
Thank
I think
you.
you're very talented. I've listened to a lot of your music. It's very impressive. You know, especially Mwanamwai. That my mother loves that song actually.
Oh wow! Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
So yeah, you definitely have a promising career, and
Thank
we
you.
look forward to see what you do in the future.
Thank you so much.
And I want to see you live though, because I understand your live performance is very good as well.
Yeah, you must see me
so-
live.
As you know, of Two Broke Twimbos, the main gist of the show is not only to interview artists, but also find ways to fleece them out of their
Yes.
hard-earned money.
Yes.
So it would be untoward of me to not beg you for some sort of backstage pass or ticket. So just take things to the next level, you know.
No, done. Consider it done.
All right. So hopefully we can add maybe a little live footage to the end of this interview. But
Yes.
thank you for your time.
Super, I'm excited. And by the way, on Twitter, I'm at Berita_Afrosoul.
Mhm.
On Facebook, I'm Berita. And on Instagram, I'm at Berita_Afrosoul. And yes, my new single, Mwana wa Maya, is out. Look out for the Black Motion remix.
All right. I was actually going to intro that plug section, but you can see media training. Can you see the media training? So yes, get all the Berita online and let her know you heard or you saw on Two Broke Twimbos. And don't forget, guys, twobroke.twimbos.com, Facebook Two Broke Twimbos, Twitter Two Broke Twimbos, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud. We're pretty much everywhere. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you for having me.